Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. So what really should be the word count for IELTS essay writing? This is going to be our topic. In other words, how long should I write the essay? Please follow this video along because it doesn't matter whether you're preparing for academic or general, computer-based or paper-based, this is going to help you. You have to follow the instructions because at the end of every question for task 2, it would be written write at least 250 words or write a minimum of 250 words, which means that anything below 250 will be severely penalized, and that is regardless of how well you write. You need to take some time to prepare and write because you're only going to have 35 minutes. And in case you were wondering that the examiner may or may not figure out or have a check on your word count, then you're wrong, because either it is paper delivered or computer delivered, they manually count the words and they make sure it is at least 250 so that you are not penalized for that. And when it is computer delivered, it is obviously super easy. The word count is mentioned there, right there when you're doing it on the computer. Those who have appeared can actually relate to it. Since you're only going to have 35 minutes to write, edit and proofread, I'd strongly suggest take some time to plan. When you're talking about ideas running out, it's better that you take about 5 minutes to prepare for your ideas and then you start writing. So what do we really mean by longer essays? Longer essays, unlike the matriculation, FSC, and the typical board examinations in Pakistan, India, and other countries, longer essays do not mean more marks, because there's a saying in Punjabi, "Jinnu kehndे ne ki ji oh sheetan par ke aaya." This means that I have filled a lot of sheets with content and I will get more marks. This type of mentality is not going to work in IELTS. Why? Because IELTS is not a rata, rote learning, or a memorization based test. It is a logical test, a test of your nerves. But longer essays do mean that you need more time to write, and if you write a lot, you may end up writing irrelevant information and going off the topic, which is why I always suggest you to keep the word count minimal, just above the minimum word count, and I'll share it how many words you need to write. Now, more grammatical mistakes when you're writing more. Not only are you going off the topic, but there are higher chances of making mistakes. And once you write more, two things are going to happen. First, you need more time to write, and second, you need more time to proofread. Now let's talk about what is the ideal word count. I'd suggest 260 to 290. Don't keep it to a bare minimum of 250. Try to have about 10 words minimum added, and don't go over 300. Just remain close to 300. This is the sweet spot. So what do examiners check? They check whether or not if the essay is on the topic. So you might have written a perfect essay of about 350 words, but it is completely off the topic. You may not even get a 6-band because the essay is not addressing the question that they're asking you. Is it more than 250 words? Of course, it has to be more than 250 words. 3 typical type of mistakes that they look forward. The first one are the grammatical mistakes, like tenses, the sentence structure, the vocabulary. The second one is the spelling. Are the words spelled out right? Do you know the spelling of all the words? There has to be 0 spelling errors in all of your task 1 and 2 to get a high band score. Last but not the least, they look at simple, complex, and compound sentences. I'll make more videos detailing what these really are. Now, you need to have a balance of both sides with a strong conclusion. Your introduction should talk about a strong thesis statement that relates to whether or not your personal example or could be any relevant example, but the body should have a balance of both sides. The relevant example can and cannot be personal. It depends upon you, but I'd strongly suggest to give it a personal touch. You can give personal examples. It is perfectly allowed, and I will share in further videos to come that why you can and you should give personal examples. IELTS has recently updated their marking criteria. Nothing has changed. They have just added more content and made it easier to understand with a better explanation. so should be simple for you to understand. This, as an 8.5 in IELTS writing that I did in November 2022, was my word count, 290 words. So it took me about 5 minutes to initially plan my task 2 and the next 15 minutes to write it. And once I was done writing, I realized that I've written about 330 words. But then I spent about the next 20 minutes to proofread and edit it, and would reduce the word count from 330 to less than 300, making sure that I have just enough content that addresses the topic, but a little bit more than the minimum required. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, do let me know in the comments. If there are any questions about task 2, the type of complex and compound sentences that you're looking for. If you need any help, feel free to let me know in the comments on my WhatsApp. You can also join my online classes, whatever suits you. I really look forward in the next videos. Adios, bye bye, masalam, Allah Hafiz, Jazakallah khair.